Today, we will be discussing a common misconception about the popular card game Uno. Many players believe that in the event of a 1v1, the rules are altered. I have to tell you today that this is not the case. Take, for example, this image on the right, demonstrating a typical game of 3 or more players. As you can see, the cycle of each turn moves in a clockwise direction. Now, let's say, for example, this player here decides to use the reverse card. I'll mark that as such. The reverse card simply, and I quote from the official rules of Uno, order of play switches directions, counterclockwise to clockwise, or vice versa. This means the order of play is now going from clockwise to counterclockwise, no strings attached, simply going to the player who played beforehand. Let's say this game over here, for example, is moving in its clockwise direction, and player over here decides to use their reverse card. Now, this is where the misconception comes in, because many people would say that he gets to go again, which I honestly think makes no sense, because the card simply reverses the order of play, meaning that this player, now instead of following the flow to player 2, now goes against the flow to player 2, meaning that it is now this player's turn. For those of you that didn't catch that, let me show how absurd it is to think that a player would go again, or goes back to them, by using the 3 or more free-for-all example. So, once again, we have the flow moving from player to player in a typical game array, and this player, once again, uses the reverse card. Now, this does not mean that the turn goes to this person and then skips back to the one who played the reverse card, because in the event of the reverse card being played, it does not move to the next person, it simply reverses the flow. So, instead of this arrow being followed, it will now follow this one to the previous player, meaning this one is incorrect here, just if that was not shown clearly enough. So, if we take this back to the 1v1 example, and we have the typical clockwise rotation of the game. It's being followed, it's being followed. Oh, this person plays the reverse card. This does not mean it goes to this person and then follows this arrow backwards. That is just stupid. It would follow here, rather than follow the typical flow, it would go counterclockwise, back to player 2, as previously stated. And now I will bring up some special mentions. As I already noted, the reverse card, by the rules, the official rules of the game, order of play switches directions, counterclockwise to clockwise, or vice versa. Even in the house rules, which are rules that are suggested in the Uno rulebook to alter the game, none of which suggest that in the event of a 1v1, the reverse card is used to go again. In conclusion, X, Kenta X, you are wrong.